right here, brother.
Ah, sorry, bro. You could have moved the seats around.
Stitch up.
Maybe I'll get, or maybe chuck that one in there.
Where's Steve Jobs? Look at this. Mac on Mac on Mac. Can I ask him how his day was now?
No, not yet.
No, I just want to know about it. Like, I don't, not for this.
I want it on there.
Oh.
I want to know what he's doing this morning.
Oh, okay.
Alright, well, we've had a good day so far. Is that enough? Is that good?
Well, it doesn't matter. I'm going to cut all this out. This full first 10 minutes gets cut
Yeah,
out.
we'll just catch
So
up.
far, so it's going to be a late night. I know that, but I'm going to be working till at least 10 at the shop.
Tonight?
Yeah, this challenge is going to be off its dial.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
The 800 from before or less?
I don't know. It's hard to say.
Is it Tugger and Erina at the same time?
Yeah, Tugger, Erina,
What are we?
all of them. All stalls, all 5.
Epic.
So,
And we started.
No, we haven't started yet.
Yeah, mate.
You ready?
yeah, of course.
Let's do it. Alright, people. Cohort Cast 3.3? 3 and 4?
3
3.0?
0.
4.0? What are we up to? It's got to be 3.
Third one.
Third one.
Yeah.
Coffee's hot. Magic day.
Good day.
Getting pumped up.
I was going to ask where it's from, but it's clearly from the side of
Oh,
the cup.
sorry, yeah, guys. Sponsored by Glee today.
Yep.
And
Thanks for the free coffees.
NextGen Nutrition at everywhere. Really. Today, guys, Big Lock,
Yeah, Tugger.
and we have special guest Big Daxy in today. First time having a guest on.
Thanks for having me, guys. I'm
Yeah.
excited.
Last
Looking
time we
forward to
had
this all week.
Yeah.
J Mac on the phone. That's about as close as we've got, really, hasn't it?
Yeah.
We haven't really had anyone in.
No, got him here in the flesh.
Today, guys, we're going to run through a bit of everything. For those of you who are listening on your phones or in your cars, I am the smallest man in this room by a long way. We have 2 large and in-charge units going to give us a bit of insight today into some nutrition, some supplements, a bit of dirty talk in the second half about CrossFit, and yeah, just sort of getting into the nitty-gritty of supplements, nutrition, training, a bit of everything really, I think. But yeah, for those of you guys who are listening through your devices, sit back and get ready for a big show. Locke, how's your morning, mate? What was today's morning like? Give us a little rundown on this morning.
It's a great morning. Woke up, did a bit of a fasted cardio session. Pretty easy, believe it or not. Just got on the bike for 30 minutes, and then I did walked up the Empire State Building on the stepper.
Where we at, mate? Where we at?
Fitness first.
Plug,
Erina.
local.
Yeah.
What kind of bike was it?
Just, I don't know, just like one of those stationary ones.
Okay,
Yeah.
station bike. I thought you meant assault bike.
Nah, not for 30 minutes.
Yeah.
No.
You guys.
Yeah, that was it. That was cruisy morning, and then just getting ready for this. So.
Do you, for those guys who don't know, what's your first recollection of Dax? Like hearing about Dax when we were PTing and things like that. Like, how did you come to sort of hear about him?
Just through the fitness world, hearing about Daxy, just like obviously he was involved in bodybuilding from what I knew first up. Just a prominent figure on the coast, and that was pretty much all I knew. Yeah.
Where were you working at the time, though?
Trying to think, I would have been kicking around 4-in-1. I was working at Wyoming, but then I was in Erina a little bit and around. So yeah, probably 4-in-1. So almost 10 years ago.
Local hero.
Yeah.
Mate, I remember I was at Mingara, I was 19, and I just started working there, and our boss at the time had been real domesticated about telling the big boys, as she called it, to put their shit back, and she was really onto us about that. I think it was my second day, and they were like, okay, you need to just go downstairs, have a chat with all the boys, make sure they put their gear away. Daxy probably doesn't remember this, but I remember it pretty clearly, and I was like, oh, fuck.
Shaking at the knees.
I'm 19, no idea who Dax is.
Take a big breath in.
I go down the stairs, and there's a dude on the leg press just knocking out, all the plates. Hoodie on, earphones in, and I have to go sort of like tap, hey mate, hey mate, my voice is cracking. And he takes one earphone out, and I'm like, I've been asked just to make sure, the gear goes away. And he's like, oh yeah mate, no worries. All this fret, and I'm freaking out, and the big rig's just going through. No problem at all. Puts all his gear away. I always put my gear away, mate. Quality. So yeah, that was my introduction to Daxy, and then obviously I spent the next 6 years there. He'd turn up late at night in a hoodie, put the treadmill. The steppers weren't as popular back then. He'd have the treadmill on 10, as high as it could go. I couldn't even see his head, and he'd just have hoodie on, pants on, walking an hour. I'd say an hour, maybe an hour and 20, and I'd be cleaning treadmills beside him, sweat coming everywhere. And that was kind of...
Just making you work.
That's how I can kind of remember.
Just flicking it.
I don't think proper introduction until I was at King Cumber, until he was working out of Jakey's at G6 for a bit. And I'd heard through the traps I was working with some nutrition out of, I think it was PSC back then, and I wanted to try something different, head over and chat to Dax about food and training, and just sort of started catching up through there, I think. What about you, Dax? Give us a little rundown, mate, on how you got to be, what we're up to at the moment, where your life's at.
Where is my life at the moment? Well, okay, so basically, well, I'm gonna dip straight into my background with bodybuilding.
Yep.
Yeah. So I think on my first competition I was like 17 or 18. So at that time on the coast, there wasn't too many. Actually, there was pretty much no one around my age wanting to bodybuild. So it was a bit, how do I say it? It was a bit different. So to be up on stage in a pair of Dickies was everyone was just thinking, what is this guy doing? You know what I mean? So, but I knew straight away. I thought this is what I wanted to do. I was like, I'm training hard in the gym. I'm sick of getting injuries with footy, broken bones, and I thought, well, let's give this a crack. So I met up with a couple of coaches on the Central Coast, and that's where I started at 18. Competed for about, I competed for 10 years. So within the 10 years, I reckon there would have been about 50 to 60 shows at least. And then I started prepping people. And then I realised once I started to prep, I couldn't prep myself. I couldn't do it myself because a bodybuilder will always be somewhat selfish towards everybody else when they're prepping, especially the last 6 to 8 weeks. And I thought, if I'm going to put my effort into people, then I'm going to give them 100%. So that's probably the time I quit, or stopped competing bodybuilding. And then since then, I've prepped for prep guys for another like 7-8 years. So that's the bodybuilding part of it, and we're still doing it now. So me and Mike have joined up, and one of my best mates, Mike Pearson. So that's going really well. A couple of years ago, me and Ara had a talk of doing this is just a short way around it. I can't keep you guys all day. Doing nutrition stores, sports nutrition. I've been involved in that since I was 19 at another store. And 2 years later, we have 5 stores, and that pretty much takes up the majority of my time, NextGen. So awesome. With that, and I had to stop PT, and I was obviously doing PT as well, but this is a priority, and I'm having a ball with it. And
the NextGen venture, super successful. Obviously, at the moment, you guys are opening your 5th store at Curran. Is that right? Camden. Next?
Camden. So Camden's open now. Yeah. Tomorrow. Saturday's going to be the grand opening, so we'll be going there for their grand opening. It's been open for 3 or 4 weeks now, so the 5th store. We're stoked. I didn't think it would probably happen this quick, but it did. And I sat down with Ira probably about 6 months ago. So let's just have a crack. Let's just do it, see what happens. And so far, things are good.
And for those who don't know, Dax is sort of the mind behind the food that is in the NextGen 12-week challenge. If you haven't heard of this thing, it's a monster. It's literally the largest nutrition program, definitely on the coast here, that we have seen ever.
Absolutely, yeah. I think I was saying to Dax earlier, it's probably something that's been needed, or there's been a hole for it for a long time, that people have been seeking or desiring something this big, and it's definitely got a special aura around it, and it's gaining a lot of momentum, which is cool to see also.
And it's had, I think it's had literally 500 people probably since day one sign up back to back since it started. The last one, which we happened to take we took a sample of at the gym and put them through some workouts, there was 800 people signing up.
Mm-hmm. It's incredible.
And Dax essentially is looking after the food for that 12 weeks for 800 people. So anyone who's out there who's sort of looking into, who spends a lot of time in the fitness industry will know how time consuming it is to look after people's food, not to mention he's still prepping people for comps, still running a business. Dax Schwedler PT still going. Mike and Dax's squad still going. Mums and bubs classes they're doing, and literally changing lives, 800 at a time. So pretty full on. The reason we've got him here is for that knowledge. We want to pick his brain a little bit with some simple and some hard questions about, some trends in the nutrition, what he finds works, some basic straightforward stuff, and then maybe some personal stuff that Lockie and I might want Want to take
Do
out
you
of me?
sleep, mate?
Yeah.
Do I sleep?
How much do you sleep? Be honest. Be honest.
Yeah. Okay.
Not how much do you want to tell people you sleep. How much
Yeah,
do you-
yeah. No, I'm going to be 100% honest today with this. A good night would be for 5 hours. That would be a good night.
Amazing.
So, I mean, I used to have, what was the little watches we used to have, the
Fitbit.
Fitbits.
Yeah.
I ended up just throwing it over the balcony.
Just tell me.
I got obsessed with it. I needed to get 20,000 steps a day, otherwise I wasn't happy with myself. So I was tracking it off that, and it was between 4 to 5 hours a night, and it hasn't got any better than that.
Yeah.
So,
Do you find though that because you've been doing it so long, you work okay at that?
yeah, 100%. 100%. I mean, what was it? Sunday night, I think I had about 6 or 7 hours sleep, and I was rubbish all day. I hated it. So
Yeah.
I like to tell
Because everyone's
people,
differently wired differently
Yeah.
with that, isn't it? Like
Yeah.
there's like, you know, the gold standard, like, oh, you need at least 8 to 9 hours or whatever, but it's like, it's really independent.
Yeah.
And, yeah. On that, I think I'd average, depending on the day, but probably 6 and a bit, maybe?
Yeah.
6-ish.
Yeah.
But sometimes you'll have, as you say, like a larger sleep and you sort of wake up feeling, you know, dazed and you're like, man, is that good for me to have a 9 hours
Yeah.
or 10 hours? So,
That's it.
yeah, it's interesting to know.
What's
Yeah.
your thoughts on, say, you're prepping someone for a bodybuilding comp, the importance of sleep in terms of weight loss and
Massively. I mean, the less sleep we get, the more cortisol the body's going to obviously produce, which is a stress hormone. Without getting too deep, cortisol is the worst thing. The high cortisol level is the worst thing that a bodybuilder can have. So sleeping is very, very important in rest. So I would like them to get at least 6 hours
Yeah.
a night, 100%. But like I said myself, I find I work better off 4 to 5.
yeah.
I like to sleep quick.
If you're going for a comp yourself, you'd still try to get a little bit more.
Yeah, 100%. What I would do is probably have naps throughout the day.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's probably.
Just like accumulate sort
Yeah,
of rest. Yeah.
and it's not due to, a lot of people say, you know, Dax, you're probably having too many stimulants at night. I don't. I train in the morning, so I might have a coffee 2, 3 o'clock in the afternoon, and that's it. So it's not stimulants that's keeping me up.
Yeah, right.
Just my brain.
I wonder why, mate. You've got
Well,
1,000 things going at the once.
Yeah, I mean, most of the time I'm excited with it, so it's. I just can't sort of relax my brain. But if I'm getting 4 or 5 hours sleep, I'm sweet.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
good.
definitely.
Yeah, as long as you, you know, as
Yeah.
you said, like as long as you're waking up feeling good, then
Yeah, 100%.
sweet.
100%. And I look, you know, there's products that I use for myself, like Adrenal Revolution. That helps with better sleeps for me and lowering cortisol and
What's the main ingredient there? Like the
ashwagandha. Yeah,
It's a root, is it, or a herb?
it's a root.
Yeah.
Yeah, ashwagandha. That if anybody can get hold of ashwagandha, that's going to help massively in lowering cortisol.
Could you get that in its truest form, say if you were overseas, or like is there a way to sort of...
Yeah, I think India actually produces it. I think the Indian root is probably the strongest form of it. We have it in capsule form. It's mixed with magnesium, L-tyserine as well. So that's what I find myself. I put a lot of people onto that,
yeah.
and good results.
Yeah, I
Really
think
good
we have,
results. Yeah.
cool.
I think I have 6 at the gym, 6 people, including obviously...
I thought you meant 6 caps. So that's not a bad effort.
So had 5 last night, is that normal?
Yeah.
Is that okay?
Yeah, I some nights I'll have 6.
Okay.
100%.
Just to really like hit you.
Yeah, it just relaxes your central nervous system. So, like I said, if someone comes into the store and you can just see they look stressed, they're not losing weight, which, let's be honest, everybody has some sort of stress in their life. Because you know what, and you know, I may use that as a selling point. I'll be honest. Have you got any stress in your life? Oh yeah, okay, perfect. Are you not sleeping enough? Nowhere enough. Bang.
That's
Okay?
everybody, yeah.
But that's most people. So I honestly think most people should use a product like this. 100%.
It's a root. You're not
Yeah.
trying to sell them.
No,
Stimulants
and you know
for
what?
Jack and
The
Mark
cheapest
Jackson.
product in our store too. You know what I mean? If they had to walk out with that and that only, I'd be happy because I know they're going to get results.
Yeah.
Everybody gets results on it.
Man, I was
Yeah.
just listening to this hectic podcast the other day. I can't remember who it was. Do you remember I was talking about the sleep?
Yeah.
Oh my days, hectic! Like just the importance. This guy's
Yeah.
a neuroscientist.
Mhm.
He talks about people who take what's the old one they take to go to sleep? The little white cat.
Valium?
Melatonin.
Oh, melatonin, yeah.
So he was saying that in terms of the comparison between what you're talking about and melatonin, he's saying melatonin's more like being knocked out. It's not quality sleep. Whereas if you take this natural product such as a root or a a tuber or some sort of herb, it releases a different response. You're not going to wake up drowsy. You're actually getting the sleep compared to say people who get addicted to melatonin. And he said that truthfully 99.9% of melatonin is actually false. It's a like a
Placebo.
placebo
Yeah.
effect, which is just
Sugar
as
pill.
good, except you're not actually getting the full hour sleep.
Yeah.
I wanted to go back a little and just touch on the bodybuilding history, how you started with that.
Yeah.
Who essentially was your first most influential coach that helped you along that road?
Carrie Granger.
Yeah.
He's still, mate, I think Carrie's around 74 now, like literally, and he trains at Impact and he looks as good as he did when he was 40.
Yeah, he still
He looks amazing.
gets a
man.
singlet
See him
on.
around all the
It's just
time,
like,
mate.
oh,
He's a cranky man when he needs to be, but he knows his stuff, and I have a lot of respect for him. And you know, I mean, nothing against Carrie, but I mean, what we done back then has changed a lot. But he still sticks to the same original formula, and it works for him.
yeah.
You know, diet wise and stuff like that. So I learn a lot from him, and I still do. I see him at the gym a bit, and he still teaches me a lot, and we still hang out at shows. So
One thing I like about Carrie is like a lot of the coaches, Lockie and myself, would, and probably yourself as well, get this, is that sometimes you see a lot of things that you want to correct, and we turn a blind eye because we're like, it's not our job, it's not important. Carrie has no flies. He will come up and go, hey mate, what is the purpose of what you're doing?
yeah, of course.
I worked alongside him for 2 years at 4-in-1.
Yeah.
No, it's not 4-in-1. Oxygen, sorry.
Yeah,
He was at Oxygen. Sorry, 4-in-1. Oxygen, he was brilliant. Like, you know, just watching how he was methodical about his approach with his clients and stuff like that.
Daxy, what did you do today for training? Lockie's sort of
So,
a bit here.
so surprisingly today, I trained legs. I haven't trained legs. How long have I been doing CrossFit for? About 2 months? 3? Maybe more.
3? I'd say more, yeah. 3.
So I haven't hit legs for probably 3 months. Due to I'd always train legs, but trying to train legs and then come to CrossFit the next day with you guys, it seemed more impossible. So I was happy to let that slide. And I remember Nate Smith said to me, you can't do both. You can't train legs and come here. And I was like, I'll stop then. And I'll leave the squats that we do enough for my legs. But I thought, why not? Let's just train legs with my mate up at Wong anytime. And so we've been doing like a program where it's like a fifth. What do I call it? I called it DS volume, right? Which is, everybody thought it was some crazy name, but basically just stands for Dax Schwedler volume. So there's nothing fancy about it. But what we've been doing is 15 nice controlled reps. After the 15th rep, it's 10 as quick as you possibly can. So I've done that with every body part. So we done it with legs today. I have never done it with legs today, and it was just crazy. The blood, the pump, it was spot on. Six exercises, 4 sets of 25 reps. Went on for about a good hour and a half. So that was my start to the day. I'm feeling pretty good after that.
Solid.
Yeah.
So you do a 15 controlled on each set and then rip and 10.
Yeah, so just say we're doing chest flat bench, 15 up, nice and slow down with a negative, and then 10, bang, bang, and then
Juicy.
and change over. Yeah, but yeah, so like, what can I go deep?
Yeah, please. Yeah.
All right, cool. So with that, so I'm all about eating for that style of training. So I find what works best for me with that style of volume is eating enough adamant quick carbohydrates before I train, right?
Yep, you got.
And well, I'm going to say it now. What I tried to do it with oats, right? I used to have 100 grams of oats before I do that, and I'd find halfway through the workout it wasn't enough.
Just bonking sort of.
It was nothing. I still wasn't getting that release from
How
the
much
carb.
carbs are you having? Like 90 grams, two sachets.
Yeah, about 90 grams of carbs, and so I was like, I'm still getting that energy release halfway through where I needed it to be quick. So I changed. You know what? I changed to. I spoke to Mike about it. I changed to Cocoa Pops, right? And nice. I don't know if I'd ever do that to a client. I don't know if I'd ever put on that part, but it works so well for me, right? I have the quick hit of sugar with the carbs, the Cocoa Pops. That training, by the end of that training, definitely utilised it all, and the pump and the volume works really well. My joints feel better. I've definitely grown. I'm about 106, probably the leanest I've been at the moment, at 106. So, yeah, it's I'm having a ball with that for sure.
I think just touching on what you spoke about just then, like Lockie and we've been talking about this phrase at the moment, the carb phobia thing. But in terms of the Cocoa Pops, I think it's important that people understand that Daxy is lean.
Yeah, 100%.
If someone listens to this and they're like, they're 23, they're still overweight, they're sloppy, they're doing some
Dax is doing
Cocoa Pops. I'm going to start eating Cocoa Pops.
Yeah.
One of the golden rules that I used to love, with nutrition and talking to people is like, if you're already happy with your aesthetic leanness, like you're already happy with where you're at, then you can tinker a heap.
Yeah.
You know, these guys aren't training for performance in terms of power output, just for, you know, an event, you know, sprinting, bobsledding, whatever it may be. But I think in terms of where you're at, and you said it works for you, I think in terms of being at leanness already,
Yeah,
being
of course.
a significant happy body composition would be when you'd start tinkering if you weren't happy with what was going on.
And
Of course.
immediately after training, you're using that window there to also consume more carbs.
So after every training session, I'll do cardio. I'll sit on the stepper and I'll do that for 20 to 25 minutes.
Okay.
So I think that obviously helps me stay leaner.
Yeah,
and then
sure.
after training, I'll go on how I feel. Straight away, I'll have EAAs, essential amino acids, and then glutamine. And then I won't have carbs then. I'll go home, and if I feel like I need carbs, then straight away I'll have rice with chicken or something like that, for sure. If I'm feeling like I don't need that carb hit after, then I won't.
Yeah.
So when I train somebody or get someone for a show, we just see how their body feels. I know someone like Mike Pearson. He needs carbs every meal. He literally does. If he doesn't, his body just deflates. So for me, I don't need a whole bunch of carbs throughout the day. So I have my carbs before I train. If I need it, I have it after. And then 3 to 4 meals after that, just protein, fats, and veggies. So, you know, your fibrous carbohydrates, and that's me. Before bed, I'll have about 5 to 6 rice cakes with a banana. So there's a little bit of carbs there. But, I mean, I get up and train straight away in the morning. So for me...
You're still utilising...
Yeah, that's right. If I'm not training the next day, then I won't have that.
Yeah.
I'll just have more fats.
Yeah. Do you mind jumping in with, say, for instance, like when you were training recently, what yours would look like? So, like how you'd eat before. There's just for a comparison.
For sure.
For our members, for people listening to this.
Yeah, so I was lucky enough to work with a dietitian from NSwiss. She'd worked with AOC for a long time, and it was probably the first time that I had holistically looked at my eating style without sort of self-coaching as such, because I've done it for a long time, and it was pretty generic throughout the whole week, like in contrast to what I was then given from her, and it was very much based around, like, if I had normally my training week was like Monday, Wednesday, Friday. I had a double, so it was like sprint session early in the morning, and then I would do like lifting, like power clean, snatch or squat, and like heavy volume, like high intensity, or not a lot of volume, but high intensity in the evenings. And then Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday were just like cruisy days. So the difference in food consumption on those double days compared to the contrast in the rest days were huge. Like, it was like, before training, like, you tell me every time before I come into training, I was crushing, at least 2 honey sandwiches, just like before, and then intra-workout too, depending on how long the session was, I would have another sandwich, like, or just grains and just getting the carbs in. But then on the days when it was what
about post as well? So you finish that clean session, you've done sprints, you've come in, you've done power cleans.
Some sort of protein. Obviously I had an intra-workout as well, but it was a protein and also like some like baked beans or same thing, rice cakes with honey or something like that again. Yeah, because I was training again in the afternoon, and she wanted to make sure that obviously that
so you could
energy
go
levels
say
were
5 honey sandwiches in a session?
More like in a day, yeah. So you'd have like 2 or so before, and then maybe 1 or banana during the session if it was longer than 2 hours, and then again after. But then like on my tempo days, which was like the active recovery, it was like 4 simple meals, but like almost restrictive. Bit of intermittent fasting in there too, just to stay lean. So it was very different for me to play around with that as well, but had great results on it.
Yeah, I was about to say,
still
you feel good at it?
Great, fantastic.
Great contrast. For the reason I wanted to dive into that is there's a great contrast in the desired effect of the training for both of you there, and that's something that I'm big on in terms of in our gym we only train one style. Everyone trains the same, CrossFit. Obviously different levels of leanness and things like that, but it's always nice to show people the difference in these 2 guys, both 106 kilos, almost the same weight, pretty much. Probably 103 now, 103.
Yeah, 104, 5. Yeah.
105. Both quite jacked, but a different style of look and then a different style of training, which I guess yours is adopting a bit more of now. But people sort of
still the DS volume.
DS volume at the moment, yeah. But yeah, nice to see. Like for people listening, someone having some cocoa pops, some massive carb hit for their training. For their purpose is this is where I get my results, and your training is this is a stepping stone to my result. I need to be recovered as quick as possible so that I can do this same activity in 5 hours or the next day. And I think that's important because people get caught up in, say, the gospel that someone gives them. So, for instance, if Dax says to me, Paulie, for what you're doing, this is what you should be doing. You should be intermittent fasting 2 days a week. You should be eating, carbs only around training because I'm looking for leanness, and then I go and turn that into gospel for somebody else who's a professional bobsledder trying to move 6,000 pounds a week, or someone doing DS volume, and Dax is like, this is not what I'm prescribing. I'm just giving this for you as a human being. And I think that's something that I've noticed in the industry is becoming much more apparent, is that adoption of gospel of one type.
One size fits all kind of.
And I think that that's important to touch on. That's why I want to show the difference in what you two guys do for that.
Yeah, if you're going to prescribe someone a way they should eat, I'm not going to say diet, a way they should eat with their program, I think you've got to work really close with them. Because if you go, Paul, have that, and I'll see you in 5 weeks. I don't want to talk to you till then. What if you get 3 days in or 4 days in, you're like, this is not working, I'm actually feeling worse. Yeah. And then what are you left with? You need to be in close contact. So it's not working that good. Okay, let's change this around, or let's try something different. That's the way I find that you're going to get the better results. So if you have a coach, whatever you need to do, then work as close as possible. If they're not getting back to you, get a new coach, get your money back. So you got to work close and see, because your body will change as well. Like I haven't eaten Cocoa Pop since I was 14. Like probably not even then, like 6 maybe. I don't even think my mum ever fed me cereal. But like I had to find something. These oats, what I was eating was bloating me. I mean, bread I don't eat anyway. And I found this was perfect. My stomach didn't feel bloated. It felt nice and easy.
Bit of Cocoa Pops.
Yeah, literally. All rice bubbles. But you know what? I tried a different cereal and it killed me. And I think it was I think it was like Frosties, right?
Don't buy Frosties.
Yeah.
But because it was corn based. Because it was corn based, right? The worst possible thing.
Yes.
Right? So that was a perfect example why I couldn't have that, because the corn base was killing me. It's just rice and sugar. Let's be honest, Cocoa Pops are rice and sugar.
What about just going back to your point there about working closely with the coach?
Yeah.
Obviously, when you've got 800 people on an online program, you're getting great results.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna debunk what you just said, but you are getting great results. We see them come through the gym.
Yeah.
This is a great question,
Yeah.
and it's something I've always wanted to ask is, you obviously have a method that you believe is pretty good for the GPP, the general population. You think you've got something wide, and we all know it works. If you've done 5 of them, you've got great results. Not to give away secrets or anything like that, but is there a thought process that you have where you're like, okay, if I give the general public this, and this, it works? Is that what you...
Okay. So when we first started doing the challenge, I think we attracted more bodybuilders. So the food was probably different then, right? To how I believed that a bodybuilder should eat. And then as the challenges went on, we were attracting people who've never trained before. They've never eaten the way I've ever eaten, or a lot of them weren't even eating. Do you know what I mean? So I sat down with Ira and I said, this is the people that we're attracting. We need to do basic foods, but with good options, and work it off a calorie amount. And it's worked well so far. Do you know what I mean? Awesome. A lot of people walking in, like we had an information last night and on the challenge, and there was like more than half of the people in there that never stepped in the gym before. What do you have for breakfast? I don't. I have a coffee and I have like a sandwich at 2 o'clock.
Quickly on that, Daxy.
Yeah.
Do you think in the general population that you would say, as a blanket statement, most people would be like, malnourished or under eating?
Yeah, for sure.
Like through phobia. Yeah.
Definitely. So
perfect,
the way we do it, right? Instead of so if I wanted to get someone was overweight, they wanted me to help them drop weight. It's very easy for me to get 4 or 5 kilos off them in 2 weeks. How would I do that? I would put them on like 1,000 calories, right? Tell them to do blah, blah, blah amount of cardio. Do I think that's the right way about it? No, I don't. So the way we do about it, the way we go about it is reverse. So we feed their body right up. So most of these people open, let's just say we're talking about weight, open their plan, and they'll be like, I can't eat all that food. Yeah. Straight away, I can't eat that food. They message me, Dax, this is ridiculous. I'm feeling bloated. This is so much. We have this thing called like trust the process, right? That they 2, 3, 4 weeks in, they're going, all right. I'm first thing they notice, I got more energy. The bloating's gone, and I feel like I can probably do another training session this week. So, well, that's just the beauty of having more food and having more energy.
And that's like your reset, though.
That's
couple of
weeks.
Like,
5, 6 weeks in, these people are firing. I'm training now 5, 6 days a week. I'm looking at my time for my next meal. Well, go back 4 weeks ago, you guys are telling me this is way too much food. Now you're eating more than you were the first week and you're getting hungry. So by the end of the 10 weeks, our goal is to basically have these people have enough knowledge of how people can utilize food as, energy or weight loss or lean muscle gain or muscle gain. So
Yeah, cool.
that's how we done it. And you know what, it was risky because I knew if people didn't trust us after the initial week 3 to 4, then they're going to go. And you know what? They're going to say, this next gen stuff is ridiculous. I put weight on. Yeah, of course. You're going to stand on the scales the first 2 weeks and you're probably going to notice a 2 kilo drop.
You've taken in double the food
you've ever eaten in your life. You probably haven't eaten nearly as much carbs. Your body is just like sucking the glycogen in, right? And by the end of the 10 weeks, on the scales, maybe I've lost 2-3 kilos. How much body fat have they lost? Like 5-6%. How much lean muscle they put on? Like 1.5 to 2 kilos. So that for me is a perfect result. Do you know what I mean?
Big time.
Then you have some people that a guy lost 28 kilos of weight. So that was really, really good. And he's never eaten so much food in his life. So it was risky, and a lot of people tend to drop out week 5 because of that. Yeah. Right? They don't trust us. But if you stick through it, then that's where they're going to see results. And still, these people from the last challenge, they come in, I'm still eating double the amount I've ever eaten, and I'm still losing weight. And I was like, that's beautiful. But that's a fear that a lot of people have. Eat less food, lose more weight. I mean, to an extent, but
you're putting stress on your body.
Yeah, of course.
You're just putting undue stress.
That's right, and that's what I found that I didn't want this to be just a crash weight loss diet.
100%.
I wanted people to come. if someone was starting on weight loss, right? I wanted them to come back the next challenge and do lean muscle, right? Because they've lost the body fat they wanted to. Now they want to focus on growing muscle. And then the next challenge, I want them to go to muscle gain. That would be the perfect scenario. And there's people now, third one in, they're doing muscle gain. They started on weight loss. Right? They haven't got in their head, because a lot of people train just to lose weight, which is what I find. And what happens, they keep going and over in their head, they just weight loss, weight loss, weight loss, weight loss. I'm like, don't you ever want to grow muscle and get stronger? Yeah, of course, but I want to lose weight. As soon as you change your mind from wanting to lose weight, right, that's when it happens. They start losing weight and they start building muscle. It's just getting caught in that trap of weight loss.
Because they're not scared to get on the barbell and just rip 20 curls because they're like, oh no, my arm's going to get too big.
Yeah, that's right.
It's like, you're actually sculpting.
And that's another thing as well. Like, instead of calling it a 10-week weight loss challenge, it's a transformation challenge as well. So we're trying to not just transform their brain and their body, but trying to transform their brain into thinking of stuff like that. So that's what that's all about, and that's the initial how we go with the food. Like, I know that was a lot. There's a lot in that answer, but that's basically instead of just saying we just wing it, well, we totally don't.
Yeah, it's planned.
It's got a reason behind the whole thing, 100%. And you know what? Some people may do this, and it may not work for them, right? But you know what? 90% of people that do it will get the results.
Yeah, if they trust you,
if they stick to it, 100%. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Would you say that giving, in my experience, I like to think that giving people a plan essentially is the easiest way to get someone results. If someone sticks to a plan, whether it's training or nutrition or sleep, if you give them a box to tick, just that alone,
of course,
brings a result.
Of course, yeah, absolutely. The first thing these people are going to notice in 2 weeks' time when they open their the forum and click on what category they're going to do, bang, meal 1, snack 2, meal 3, snack meal 4, bang, 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 bang. The whole thing's set out in front of them. Training, I don't know how to train, Dax, what I'm doing. Bang, lean muscle. There's a program for you to do. If you've never followed it, I'd love for everyone to do 4 days a week of the training program design, but if they were to do 1 to 2, that's fine. They're starting off. So everything they need to do is set right in front of them. And the other thing is the community inside the Facebook forum. That's massive. We've kept the last one opened, and we've called it a NextGen community page. And now everybody's still talking. People are still pumped up and firing for the next challenge. So that helps a lot of people. It helps me on low days as well. Yeah. I get low days. I sit there and it's like, I can't be bothered to train. My brain's all over the place. And you look at this guy that 10 weeks ago, he was a nervous wreck, and now he's pumping everybody else up. So,
yeah, it's sick.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So it's got me pumped up. Yeah.
Oh, crazy.
So yeah, it's funny how it swaps, and it gives me motivation as well as we try and give motivation for everybody else.
Yeah, that's good.
What's I love questions about changes. So you mentioned you've started doing a bit of CrossFit.
Yep.
You, I think the first time I actually got some subs off you were working across the road from where I was training. But how's your perception of CrossFit over the last 10 years changed?
Yeah. Okay. Cool. So I used to be one of those bodybuilders that used to put shit on CrossFitters all the time. I would see some of the exercises and think, "What the hell are you guys doing chin-ups like that?" Right? And you would have heard it. You guys would have heard bodybuilders blah 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 blah. Right? So yeah, I was definitely on the outside of that. You know what? So these days, right? I think what really changed it for me was getting to know Soph a lot more when she started working with us, and her stories, and seeing how, Paul coached her and how she transformed it to I mean, people walk in and go, "Oh, Soph, did you train this morning? Did this or that?" And I thought, this is pretty cool. Like, she's pretty mellow about it. She plays it down a little bit. She, everyone knows how good of an athlete she is. And then I remember Paul goes, "When you come in," I kept putting it off. And I was like, well, I got nothing to lose. Like, I know I'm going to be bad at it, but I'm willing to give it a go. And man, like, 2 days a week I'm in there. I look at people. The biggest, what a big change was for me as well when I watched I think you told me about the CrossFit Games, the one that's on.
The documentary, yeah.
Now that was nuts. Like, I remember, I don't know what commentator or who said it, but I remember at one of the events the guy goes, "These people aren't mentally well." Like, and I'll never forget it. And I was like, "Oh fuck, I love that. That's unreal." That they aren't mentally well. You know what? They're pushing their body to the absolute limits. That's gold. Yeah. That's unreal. And I've given it a go, and I'm not even like close to where they're at, and I'm thrashed. I can only imagine how these people are getting like to that stage, and I respect it so much more now. And I'm having a ball with it, definitely.
Yeah, that's cool.
So, I've got full respect for everyone. I think it's come a long way, and I think, like I said, these athletes are just crazy. And man, it's.
Do you obviously, for those who don't know, you did a bit of fighting, a bit of Muay Thai.
Yeah.
Do you think that because obviously there's bodybuilders who do bodybuilding and essentially that's it.
Yeah.
That's what they do.
Yeah.
You obviously like a bit of that endorphin hit, not to mention probably just that out of body experience that you get when it comes, if anyone's done some Muay Thai or some kickboxing, played footy at a decent level, you've got that, that real hurt.
Yeah, it's just like
dark place that people
like
go
the
to.
sportsman in you sort of start to appreciate different, like to do different things and find the appeal in all.
So that was pretty random how that came about. Like, I used to be, and I still am obsessed with Thailand. So I used to go over there, do the thing a lot of bodybuilders do: eat, train, sleep in Thailand. But I used to I would train, and then I would spend all day just traveling around Thailand until I remember getting up a couple of mornings a week and just watching the Muay Thai fighters. They'd go for a 12k run, come back. They would skip for half an hour, right? Half an hour non-stop, and then they'll get in the ring and spar, do pads, 4 hours training, and then but the best thing about these Thai fighters, I found they were all so calm and relaxed, and I was like. And I remember talking to one of the guys, "Why are these so relaxed?" He goes, "It relaxes them. It relaxes them." But the bodybuilders, a lot of them are always worked up, you know what I mean? I don't know if it's the ego thing or what, but I said, "I'll give it a go." And I loved it. And I remember getting kicked in the head, and I was like, this is actually a lot different, and I love it. And and that was it. And then I went back
highlight reel right there.
I went back to the Central Coast, and I found it where I'd do some training, and CCO at West Gosford had a gym. And I said, I just want to do some pads and a bit of cardio. And they're like, "Oh, cool." And then one thing, they said, "Do you want to spar?" I was like, "No, never. I don't want to have a fight." Jumped in there, had a spar, loved it. And I said, "They want to have a fight?" I said, "No way. I don't want to have a fight. I'm not a fighter. Like, I can't jump in a ring." And that was hard for me, jumping in a ring, trying to punch on or kick somebody who's done nothing wrong to me. It's hard for me to do that. Like, you've got to really piss me off for me to want to hit you. Do you know what I mean? And I'm not a brawler. And anyway, I ended up having four fights, and the fifth fight, I was on a bit of a roll. I was feeling pretty good, and I met a girl that I'm with now, Larissa, and took her down to Canberra. I said, "Oh, I've got this guy. I've got him. Been looking him up. Feeling pretty positive." She goes, oh, I've won 4 out of 4. I'm feeling pretty good. This guy's just more of a brawl. I step up a weight. I was in the super heavyweight, which was like 120. I think it was 115 kilos. I think he's just going to be slow. Round 2, we both dropped each other, and I remember sitting in the corner thinking, this guy hits real hard.
That's big boys.
Yeah. But I found in the super heavyweights it was more where I needed to be, because they used to make me drop to 82 kilos, and it was near impossible for me to get down.
Yeah,
I'd sit in the sauna for 6 hours to try and get there. And the heavier they got, they were actually shorter, so it was good for reach and that. And then the second round, all I remember is just waking up and blood. You know, you can taste that blood in the mouth. And looking over, and Larissa's like just panicking. And I was like, far out. And that was it for me. Like, I was like, what am I doing? Anyway, got a hematoma on my shin, had to get it cut, blah, 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 blah. Went to Thailand 3 weeks later, it kept blowing up, and then I never seriously went back after it.
Yeah.
That's about the same time we started NextGen, and I was like, I can't come in with black eyes. And but I still love it. I watch it at least 3 or 4 times a week.
Yeah, mad.
On YouTube or whatever, and I have a lot of respect for any fighter, especially Muay Thai fighters. The thing with Muay Thai fighters, they're all about respect.
Yeah.
They're in the ring, they're absolute animals. Outside the ring, you'll never see them have a fight in the street. You'll never see them badmouth people. They're just very, very relaxed, and that's what I loved about it. Yeah.
That's a great story. I've heard the Canberra story from Marissa actually, and
yeah.
But actually, I honestly think that's why I kind of thought you'd like it. The reason I kept persisting with, hey, you should try CrossFit, is that I used to do boxing, and for me, the same thing. I was working at Mingara, got a black eye. I was like, I can't do this. I'm gonna get in trouble. My boss isn't gonna like it. Tried CrossFit and was instantly like, I'm getting that adrenaline hit. Without having to get my head punched in. I'm getting an output that I was lifting weights at the time. I was just doing bench, dead, squat. I'm getting an output that I don't have to run 5Ks to feel like I've done work. I could work for 7 minutes and be like completely fucked. And I thought, this is it. This is something I can do. Maybe at the time, I think I was doing it 3 times a week. I can do this and I feel like I'm doing something. I feel like I'm getting an instant result. I walk away, can't lift my arms above my head, like when I used to box, I couldn't lift my arm after 5 rounds, or doing pad work, or So for me, that's why I was attacking, sort of coming at you with, hey mate, you're gonna like this. This is gonna stimulate that inner athlete in you from the footy days, and Lockie's experienced exactly the same sort of thing, right? Like just that. I remember that actually, this is the first time I ever saw CrossFit was you at Bingara. I looked over and what the hell is this guy doing? I'd never seen these exercises in my life, right? So if anyone was talking about CrossFit on the coast or anywhere, I automatically think about you. And then went on from there, I think was Jace, but I haven't, he was good at some stage, you haven't seen him for a while, but I remember seeing, you do it over at Mingara. And I think nobody was doing it with you. I think you were pretty much doing it yourself, or there's a couple of people that were training with you or something like that, but man, it was very different. Watching you like those movements was like, wow. Man. And I think that there's warrant in terms of what you were talking about before with those sort of narcissistic attack on CrossFit. I don't think Lockie and I would disagree with too much of what the negatives are, because we both agree. We talk about it all the time. We're S&C coaches. We're strength and conditioning. Like you come to Cohort and we do strength, conditioning, and these days probably some sort of skill and ROMWOD piece. But the attack, I guess, was probably more where it sort of clashed. Whereas now that we're a part of that, gym culture in Australia has adopted CrossFit as part of, it's a norm. It's like an F45. But those comments and things in terms of the butterfly pull-up, which most people would freak out about, I don't think Lockie and I disagree with the warrant of that movement. There needs to be a reason for that, right? Yeah, for sure. Yeah, with all those, with that same train of thought, it's like always explain it like with anything. It's like you've got really good tradespeople or good professionals, and same in the fitness industry. So you can go to a CrossFit gym and it's going to be exceptional because it's a strength and conditioning coach who's got a lot of experience. They're going to look at you and care for you, and you're going to be safe in their hands. But then also on the flip side, you go to another CrossFit gym where the person is disinterested. Then they don't have the programming's horrendous. Totally, and the knowledge is not there, and they don't know what they're looking for in the movement. So I'm the same. I get it too, and I think my view has changed in a lot, thinking, the same thing, like I was not sure of CrossFit, and then I was like, I loved CrossFit, and then it's like, well, I love all forms of training when they're done well, so it's, for sure. Same with bodybuilding, love bodybuilding, but some people do it incorrectly, or love powerlifting, but some people do that incorrectly, and
Yeah.
So it's cool to have that awareness, I think, too.
For sure.
Yeah.
I think the community inside. Well, I've only ever
In the
really
walls,
trained in one CrossFit gym. Touching on Cohort, you know, everybody does this crazy 8, 12, 15 minute, you know, WOD, as you guys would call it. And at the end of it, like, you could be smoked on the ground, which is most of the time with me, but you look up and there's always someone there high-fiving now. I mean, that's what I missed a little bit about Muay Thai. I mean, doing bodybuilding, yeah, I mean, you train with your mates, of course, you egg each other on, it's cool. But if you're training alone, it can be pretty dark, do you know what I mean? So
Sure.
if you pump out a good session, you're not going to find a guy in the gym come up and high-five you from nowhere. Like,
it's good job, mate. You crushed that session.
It's just the way it is. And it's you know, it depends where you train. I mean, you can train at some gyms and people will do that, but I find, you know, in that part of the CrossFit, yeah, there's always somewhere to help you, someone there to get you up and, you know, good shit for a good session. And that was cool. Because in the same with Muay Thai, I would spar with someone and you guys might bash each other. At the end of the round, you're both sitting on the ground stretching and having a chat about it. Like, that was what I missed. So that was cool. Same with footy. Like, how good is it after a game of footy?
Go and shake everyone's hands.
Yeah, you shake. Yeah, you bash each other, and then you play against someone like Wyong or whatever, or whoever you play, and you're down there having a beer with them after the game. It's perfect.
That's the best.
Yeah. And that's what I missed about it for sure.
Yeah, I think that's definitely something that hooked me in terms of I played soccer my whole life. You know, big team sport guy. Even though CrossFit's an individual sport, it's a very big team culture.
Yeah.
You know, like he's got the shirt on, I got Cohort on, you've got NextGen, like these teams that we assign ourselves with. Yeah. Going back to the high five thing, I have a very, like, Lano from our gym. He's same as you, probably similar age. He played footy his whole life for Woi, I think, or did he play Woi, Lano?
You might have, maybe?
Maybe you might, yeah. And he said the same thing. He said, I came in, did my first workout, I don't know how he got there, father of 2 beautiful girls. Comes in, does his first workout, never lifted weights. They used to tell us to go to the gym when I played for Mine and hated it. It wasn't a gym culture guy. Does this workout, lays on his back, looks up, people high-fiving him, blah, blah. He just comes to me at the end of the session, he's like, this is the weirdest place I've ever fucking gone. He's like, I just nearly spewed up the back. This is a cucumber. He's like, I just nearly spewed up the back. Yeah. And there's ladies just laughing, high-fiving me. He's like, I've never been, I don't know, this is the weirdest place. Yeah. And because, you know, I'd been doing it for a while by then, I was like, this is normal. You know, this is, Lockie and I, we'd compete against each other at, you know, one of Jace's games day, or down in Newcastle, at CrossFit Newcastle, was 2010. And I see Lockie, and he's trying to beat me in that workout. You know, he's going to want to stand on that podium. And then at the end, it's high-fives and talking about school and, like, normal life.
Yeah, of course.
And I think that's a great,
yeah, absolutely. Definitely, 100%.
Let's get into some direct questions, Daxy. I've got a couple here. Food questions. I want you to give me as direct answer as possible. So, not 99 minutes of food talk. Okay. If I'm 40 pounds overweight, okay, so I'm 22 kilos overweight, I want you to drop.
I love how you said pounds in, because you know I talk in kilos. Yeah. That's why when you go, what do you want on the bar? 120 pounds. What's that? The green ones?
CrossFit, okay, the blue one?
Green or blue?
Daxy goes like that. I want to drop 22 kilos. I'm training 3 days a week. I don't know much about what I'm doing. I don't want to do anything to my training. I'm just, you know, doing a bit of walking and running. I want to drop 22 kilos. Give me a diet.
And are they? You said they're training?
3 days a week.
Weights?
Just general, like, walk, get a bit of bench, bit of squat. You can't touch their training.
What sort of diet would I suggest?
I want to do 22 kilos in the next 8 weeks.
Okay, well, if I was I'm going to try and keep it short. Basically, I would
tell me more of the scenario. Okay. So, what is it? Winter or summer?
Yeah. What are they wearing?
Am I male? Am I female? Where do I live?
How old am I?
No. Okay, so if I was going to
Colonel Mustard in the library,
suggest something, I would say more of a high protein, high fat, lower carb diet, 100%. Just base some carbs around training time, and very easy carbohydrates.
How many calories do you reckon if I'm 36 and I'm 22 kilos overweight?
Male, female?
Male.
Yeah. And
5'10", 20 kilos overweight.
I would, I'd start them on at least 3,000. I know that sounds maybe high, but I would start them there and see how their body responded. Yeah, I'm sure for sure. I never really like to go too low. I mean, I even have bikini girls I put on stage, and the lowest they get would be maybe 1,400 calories. The lowest. You know, I know some girls have come to me like, I'm on this, and I've worked it out. I go, you're on 500 calories. I mean, how are you even alive?
She's on 500 calories.
Yeah. It's death. So yeah, okay, that's what I would probably start on 3, maybe 2.7, see how they respond, and I don't think they would get any lower than 2,000, probably thereabouts. But I reckon 2.5 to 3 would be smart for them.
Okay, that's perfect. Answer 1. Number 2.
Yes.
20-year-old male, and I want to put on 20 kilos of muscle, clean.
Yep. Clean. Yep.
I want to put on 20 kilos of weight, clean, in a 12 weeks.
Yep.
What's the best thing I can do? What would my diet look like?
Okay. Well, I would calorie wise, I'd say I would at least 3.5 to 4,000 calories to start off with. I'd pretty much have carbs every meal. And then most of it, I would probably have a lower percentage of fat in it. So it'd be more of a protein carb with low fats. That's what I'd start with. So yeah, for sure. Yeah, about 4,000 I think would be good.
In the 2 diets there, the yin and yang, is there some foods that you would have in terms of how you're talking about high protein, high fat? Is there preferred methods of those two? So for the guy putting on weight in those carbs, are you wanting...
Okay, what sort of carbs would I suggest?
Just you know, grains or rice or
basic sweet potato, your rice, bananas, fruit, and stuff like that. See how their body responds. But yeah, sweet potato,
the
rice.
person losing the weight, if they were to have those carbs, would it be fruit, sweet potato, rice?
To be safe to see out, I'd probably have them on sweet potato.
Cool.
Yeah, I find that's a lot easier in most people's body.
I want to question 3, last question of straight direct answers. I want to win the CrossFit Games. I'm already sitting at a regionals level. I'm pretty fucking sound. What are you going to feed me?
Well, you know what? That's hard for me to say because, you know what? If I'm going to direct it towards a CrossFitter, and you know what? I've done my own research on these guys, and they never tell you what they eat. The guys at the highest levels. I try and look at what they eat. I try and go.
Why is that?
No, honestly.
No, I know.
I mean,
I've done the same.
If you type,
you can't see. You can't. It's a fucking.
I could go
Blue's
YouTube
Clues
right now and go Phil Heath eating, right? And he would sit there, meal 1, meal 2, meal 3, meal 4, and that's awesome because we can see what he eats. CrossFitters, they never. And what I'm trying to find out, what are they mostly having, right? And nobody explains anything. It's hard for me to find out.
The internet tells you just bacon.
Yeah,
plates of bacon.
I see a lot of them having more of a higher fat diet, but. Is that around training time? I don't know. Are they running their body off more fats than carbs?
I think
it's hard for me to.
I think to just touch on this subject because it's definitely something that comes up and people ask me why they can't find. I think for me it's actually quite clear. It's like, well, in a sport where 1 second changes the winner and the loser, every single edge that you have makes a difference. I mean, you compare this to bodybuilding, right? If I eat what Phil Heath eats, I'm not going to look like Phil Heath. But if I eat performance-based food to the fucking T, to the gram, my performance will go up.
Yeah, for sure.
So there's obviously, we're going to touch on the other reason in a second, but I believe that there's also a strong call for people to hide that food because they want to keep that to themselves.
Okay. Diet when he was at his best?
Give us a rundown. What is it?
7,000 calories or something stupid, wasn't it?
Dude, way more.
Was it?
Like
12,000? Yeah.
Who's this?
Phelps.
So did you find Frodies, did you say?
No. I'll show you this.
There's a track cycler too, had an impressive, an Aussie bloke, Ryan Bailey maybe or something, but he was like fucking the same, mate. He would just crush food like a monster.
So you're saying if I ate Matt Fraser's diet, I wouldn't be like Matt Fraser? Come on, boys, give me something. Jesus, just laugh me out of the place. Oh, mate. All right, let's Daxy, give us a rundown on that big meal you're looking for, and then Lockie take us into the next part.
So 12,000 plus, right?
12,000 calories.
Okay, so the only reason I know is because this guy tried to eat it, right? And he does.
Guys, if you're listening to this, we're just looking at a video Daxy's
This is what he eats every day.
Who's this from?
Phelps.
This is Michael Phelps watching a video on YouTube on Michael Phelps' calorie intake.
sandwiches. 2 large ham and cheese sandwiches with extra mayo. Over 1 pound of pasta. 1 16-inch extra large
Wait for it,
pepperoni
right? This
pizza.
will be something that's going to surprise you at the end. What do you have?
Pound of
On my
pasta.
floor.
And a whole lot of energy drinks.
Yeah.
In hopes to one day become a world champion, today I am living, breathing, and eating like Michael Phelps.
So, guys, you can't see that unless you're, or even if you're on the video. Dax just showed us a video of Michael Phelps' diet that a guy tries to replicate, small Asian dude. 12,000 calories in essentially carbohydrates, really,
Yeah.
and some fucking cheese, a heap of cheese and all those sandwiches.
Jesus.
So there's fat, and then there's the protein.
Bit of
of all the meat.
protein.
I'm going to just ask you, Dax. So the argument, because this guy has more gold medals than any American in history,
Yeah.
and he's the leading swimmer in the world still. He's the gold standard, right?
Yeah, it's incredible.
So the argument would be that people will bring up is that if he did the same thing on clean calories, he'd be a better athlete. What is your opinion on that?
Well,
Yeah.
yeah. Okay. I personally, now that I know about his diet, that's why he eats like that, because to eat clean foods for 12,500 calories. I mean, can you imagine how long? Can you imagine how much sweet potato, chicken breast,
and broccoli.
rice, fruit, veggies there would be? It would take someone 2 days to eat all that. So the thing with Michael Phelps, because he's so big and he used to train so much, he used to burn through it like that. So I mean, he has 5 Monster cans a day. Like, that's the only way he was able to perform and eat that much food was through 30 calories, and it worked for him perfectly.
So no,
What?
he wouldn't be a better athlete if he ate that food clean.
I don't think so. No.
It'd almost be
Yeah.
impossible to,
Yeah.
as Dax was saying, to consume like that macro content through
Sweet
potato rice, bro. Yeah.
Imagine how much turkey breast you have to eat.
Yeah, and then there's a problem. Like, most of these swimmers eat like that, right? That's why they don't show their diet. And what happens when they stop swimming? They all blow out because their body's so.
the Jeff Hugel.
Yeah, that's Michael Phelps. I don't know what he's at the moment. Maybe he's still training pretty hard, but that's another reason why they all just go.
They blow.
They
He
blow.
went up to 120 something kilos. Remember the
Yeah.
butterfly? Yeah.
140.
140 kilos.
Yeah, and that diet is that's like obviously one of the world class dietitians in the Olympics. So, and he's giving him that diet. So, I don't feel so bad about my Cocoa Pops.
Mate, you know what? It's just crazy because I don't know. You probably don't see it as much as we do, but like Lockie and I, with CrossFit, we do tend to get people who are already at a certain level of knowledge and fitness, and they come in with these days in 2018, they come in with a preconceived idea of what they're after. They want to get better at stuff. I mean, we very rarely these days get a 40 kilo overweight person coming in who's never trained before because of the perception that CrossFit's created. But Lockie and I, if we tell people to eat carbs, they would still want to kill us, right, Lock?
Oh, still.
Like, we're talking like
Like what? Carbs? You want me to have a sandwich or, some...
mate, even getting
Ross-
into
honey
100 kilos
before.
of sweet potato these days
Impossible.
is impossible.
Yeah.
And you're talking about people who have got to go to work. They've got to have brain function. They've got 10 kids.
Yeah.
Like, we're talking just about living.
Yeah.
They're not single, getting paid a heap of money. They've got stresses in their life. These are married people.
Mate, even myself, as a trained individual, last year when I got put onto a different eating plan, for breakfast every other morning I had to have 6 Wheat Bix, which I hadn't eaten since high school, with honey on top or a maple syrup of sorts, and then almond or skim milk, full banana cut up, and a bit of peanut butter or almond butter. And that for me, I was like, even for me, I felt like it was a stretch to believe. And like, I know it's going to be good for me, but even at that level,
Yeah. 100%.
like I was sort of thinking, like I was like, oh fucking Wheat Bix.
Yeah.
There's got to be something else, isn't there? Like, but
I
it
think
fueled me great.
In our
Yeah.
world, that's what I'm trying to say is the carb phobia.
Yeah.
And you've been in our gym. There's not a lot of obese people in our gym.
Oh, of course
And the carb phobia that is evolving, and obviously not to pull anything out of the air, but there's new fads as well, as intermittent fasting, as keto. We're talking about people who aren't lean, who aren't healthy in general. We're just talking about your general gym goers. Adopting a diet for 3 weeks, then another diet for 3 weeks, then another diet for 3 weeks, and it's like we spoke about before, if we just set them up on a nice plan and they tick those boxes regularly and stick to one diet for more than 3-4 months.
Yeah, let their body get used to it. And
Some people have been eating carb phobic for 7 years, and then they want change I want to change the diet every 3 months. I did keto for a while, and I've tried them all. Like I'm not picking on people. I've tried them all. Yeah. But all I'm saying is that in our sphere, like when you come into our place, nobody's in there 40 kilos overweight, but they're all carb phobic.
Yeah, of course.
And the diet challenges that we run, that I write for these guys, and Lockie, talks them through it. Like there's carbs in there.
Yeah.
They're not scared of carbs. They're cleaner because these people don't need dirty food. They're not winning the gold medal.
Yeah. Yeah, I get you. I mean, and like I was saying before, these people are going to open their diets for our challenge, and for weight loss, the first meal is there's 4 options for breakfast. One of the options is 4 Weet Bix. Like these people are going to be like, what? 4 Weet Bix? Or if you don't want that, 3 pieces of toast with eggs. Like they're going to freak out, but that's where we are constantly telling these people, just trust us. Yeah. Get through. What you got to trust us. Look at people who've done it before, and you'll get the results. And
couldn't agree more.
Yeah,
couldn't agree more. It's just awesome to giving people that sort of knowledge.
Yeah, when you reach the scope is huge, which is great too. All right, cool. So moving on to part B, Cohort Cast 3.0 part B.
Yeah, or 4.
Number 4.
You want to go number 4?
Sure.
We'll make this number 4.
Yeah. Should we change shirts?
just swap. Mine would be a tent and yours would be a crappie. What are we doing this one, Lot? What are we touching on?
So we're touching on the other side of nutrition and performance through legals and illegals must have in terms of supporting and supplementing performance throughout those. So Daxy, we're going to talk about bodybuilder, weight loss, and CrossFit journey.
Okay.
I want to just give you a rough idea of legals, so things that I can get off the shelf.
Yep.
That would be a must-have for a bodybuilder.
Are we getting tested or not getting tested?
Not tested. These are legals, like off the shelf. Okay. Yeah. So it's
what's like 100% a must?
Yeah. Just a couple of things.
What I think a must is.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sorry. I'll just clarify. Not food-based either. So just like a supplement.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Okay. I think if we're going to narrow it down to a must, I think L-glutamine is a must in most bodybuilders' plan, due to the benefits of boosting the immune system, gut health, recovery. What else? I mean, there's so many anti-catabolic. The body will use L-glutamine as a backup form of energy if the body's low. So let's just go L-glutamine. Okay, can I just say this has changed since probably when I started. So when I first started bodybuilding, I was like, most important would be a pre-workout, this and this and this and that. So this is like, not that I don't suggest that, but they're a must, L-glutamine. I'm going to say a branched chain amino acid, I think is important.
So BCA, not EAA?
Yeah. Depend. If they're having protein powder, I would say a BCAA is fine. I don't drink protein powder because I can't. I'm lactose intolerant. Yeah. So
some sort of BCA.
Yeah.
Branch chain.
A branch chain.
They're essential or bit branch.
Yeah, branch chain are essential. And a multivitamin. That's a must.
Cool.
Yeah, for sure.
Moving on for a weight loss journey, must have supplements. So not food based, even though probably food's the most important part. But supplement for a weight loss journey. Yeah,
okay. I'd say L-carnitine.
Yeah.
Once again, L-glutamine.
Yep.
And I would, with a weight loss, maybe like a good protein powder that we can, a very lean protein powder that we can use as, a shake or some snacks throughout the day, the meals, for sure. Definitely, yep.
And then for a CrossFitter,
you can substitute
so like power athlete,
high power athlete.
Yeah, sort of elite athlete.
Obviously, our listeners are going to be 90% CrossFit, so we like to.
Yeah. Okay. So if I had a CrossFitter come and say what I suggest, Soph. Okay. If I was regarding Soph, I would say once again, I love L-glutamine, so I'm going to say L-glutamine, right? 100%. I'm going to say a carb-based powder.
Yeah.
Right. I think if you're training 2-3 sessions a day and you need carbs to help, obviously energy and glycogen throughout training, I'm going to say a carb powder. I think food's probably maybe a bit too slow, and an essential amino acid or branch chain. So it doesn't really vary too much, except not L-glutamine, L-carnitine for the other two.
Do you want me to just run over those?
Yeah.
Do you want me to just run over? Yeah. So guys, if you're listening in, so the bodybuilding type, L-glutamine, BCAAs, and a multi. for the weight loss, L-carnitine. That's right, yeah.
Yep.
Yep. L-glutamine and a lean whey protein.
Yep.
And for a higher end CrossFit, sort of that. Lucky's editing as I'm commenting.
Is your spelling?
I have to go autocorrect. Mate, I can't.
Carb power.
I can't do it, mate. I hate that little red line on it.
L-glutamine, carb powder, and
So carb powder being like a maltodextrin.
Yep.
Um,
And then
you've got
an EAA as well.
Yeah.
So they're those three. Actually, in terms of subs, I wanted to get into just personal as well. For natural products, you and the missus love natural products in terms of like a bit of Chinese herbs and things like that.
Yeah.
What are some things, some essentials for say omega-3s, muscle recovery, soreness, sleep? Like, what are some things that you think are just general health things you'd like to see the population take on more of?
Yeah. Okay. So what I've noticed, definitely over the last 4 or 5 years, is a lot of people are working harder, they're becoming more stressed, and people are sleeping less as well. So I think if we can obviously help with helping recovery and better sleeps and lowering cortisol, which is a stress hormone, I'm going to say something like a good adrenal product, so help with your adrenal glands, something that's going to lower stress. Okay, and how many people suffer anxiety these days, right? I mean, a lot of people suffer anxiety. I do. I'm not going to hide it. I do. And a Chinese herb like ashwagandha, I can't swear enough about that product. Is unreal. That's going to help with lowering stress, cortisol, better sleeps.
What about fat metabolizers like fish oil?
Yeah, fish oil. So I'll have at least 5 or 6 fish oils a day. I also have flaxseed oil. I have coconut oil. Engine oil.
And your thoughts on omega-3s? Like, are they obviously you're taking them for?
Yeah, 3, 6, and 9. If you're not getting enough that through your foods like salmon and stuff like that, for sure, definitely. I know when I start taking 3, 6, and 9, some days I'll forget. I'll be honest. I think a brain function is a lot better as well.
Yeah.
I do help.
What do you mean by 3, 6, and 9 for the guys listening? Sorry.
Omega-3, 6, and 9. Sorry. Yeah. And then which I get from flaxseed caps, so it has got 3, 6, and 9. Flaxseed tastes pretty bad, but I found for me that's an easy way. If I can go 3, get on with my day, that's easier for me. Yeah. Right? Salmon will have most of it as well, but I think that's
we're talking subs. That's fine.
Yeah.
What about so?
I've got something to say, a good liver tablet as well. Okay, liver cleanser.
Liver enzymes.
Yeah, liver enzymes, digestive enzymes. But then it's like, where do you stop with all that? If someone's having really bad gut issues and digestive problems, then they've got to look at what they're eating. But a lot of it just goes around in circles. So if they're stressed, a lot of people are so stressed, they're going, I'm bloated. My body's not digesting food enough. Well, let's try and lower your stress levels first, and you watch how much better your body can absorb foods. You know what I mean? So it all goes around in circles. L-glutamine, like I said before, it's awesome.
Magnesium.
Not
as much.
Look, I think magnesium is unreal for people that obviously again that train hard. And they've busted through all their salts and stuff in their body. I find magnesium is good for me to have before bed. I find it relaxes me as well. Like I said, go.
I guess the reason I asked those 3 is like my sort of go-to 3 is always fish oil, vitamin D, and magnesium.
Yeah.
But in saying that, that's because the people we get are coming in same as you, high stress, but our training mechanism is quite a stressful training mechanism. So if you're a mum and you haven't done that much training, you come in, you're doing thrusters and dipping pull-ups.
Yeah, for sure.
I would say in general, the reason we get result is from the stressor, but it's still a stressor. So we try to combat that with those 3.
Definitely.
Sleep is number 1, food is number 2. Subs come last, but the first thing I do when the guys come on is make sure they're getting those fish oils in, omega-3, and to be honest, for the joints, because have you done keeping pull-ups before you come to CrossFit?
No.
And so your elbows get jacked up.
Yeah.
And then they come in, they're like, I've got sore elbows. CrossFit said, well, let's increase those omega-3s because you're getting this external stressor that you weren't having before. So I agree with yours in terms of the subs. The reason I was asking is just to see if any of our sort of correlated
sure.
and crossed it over into what you would.
So, I mean, you know what? Like, I think I talk about fish oils so much. It's just like a natural occurrence for
Same
people to
with
have fish oils. So it's for me to sort of forget that. It's because it's just. I think most
It's almost
people
like an expectation.
people. Yeah. I think most people should be using fish oils.
Mate, I guarantee you, if you went to everybody's house, no one has fish oil in the cupboard. If they do, it's been there since 1936.
I understand. But you know what? Then again, how many people just forget to swallow fish oil capsule?
All the time.
Man,
I've got some upstairs. I haven't had them.
Yeah, and I'm the same as well.
Same.
And then, until your joints starting to kill, you're like, maybe I should use these fish oils.
Yeah.
And then they start getting better, and
you
you
stop
start
taking
getting off it. And it goes round in circles.
Which is how we cycle. Like, that's how I tell people to cycle it. 3 months of strong fish oil, 3 months of chills.
There is one product I use for overall health, and I put everybody on this. It's called Key Immune System. So it obviously boosts your immune system, right? And it's got astragalus, shiitake mushroom, and olive leaf. So I've been using that every day since I was 16. Wake up in the morning, I have one of them, vitamin C, vitamin B boost, and then smash that on over the day, right? So that Key tablet, I mean, it's so good at boosting your immune system that in China and Japan, they use that as their antibiotics when they come out of surgery. That's how good it is. Like, and you can read that and look up into it, and that's what they're having. So
what is it called, sorry?
So shiitake mushroom. It's called Key, but they use shiitake mushroom and astragalus. Yeah.
Yeah, I've had this product. Dax has given so for myself this product.
Yeah,
it's been, it's quite good.
Ever since we put it in the 10-week challenge, they're sold out. There's no one's got it, so I've been with that for 2 days. Starting to get sick.
Give me my keys.
Let's get down to the unspoken, the taboo subjects of illegals. Let's touch the bodybuilding.
It's only taboo to the general public.
Yeah. That's
Very true.
So talking about the taboo, Locke and I obviously are not shy when we look at the sports that we've both been tinkering in. CrossFit for myself, having my fiance trying to compete with some girls at the top, and Lockie going to the bobsled at the Olympics, competing against Russians. Guys who have tested positive multiple times and been allowed to compete. Then obviously yourself in bodybuilding, the guys at the top. There's no two ways about Arnie Schwarzenegger being the greatest of all time. We just want to get a bit of an insight, and maybe for the general public, open them up a little bit to what could be underlying in the CrossFit world, the bodybuilding world, so that we're not shying away from the subjects and just talking about sweet potato, as J Mac would say. And get involved in that. So, however you want to sort of branch that around, we thought about maybe, seeing where you see the correlative these days when you put on the Netflix and watch, the history of bodybuilding, and you watch CrossFit, and there's kind of an overlap happening. And, we've just had Ricky Gerard test positive in Australia for SARMs.
Who just finished second last year at the 2018.
Third at the CrossFit Games in his rookie year. So maybe if we could debunk a couple of things for the guys who think that next year they'll be competing against Matt Fraser and things like that, and just dive in.
Yeah.
Have a general conversation that people are scared to have, especially in our world.
Cool. Okay, so if you're at the top of the level, right, or you want to get to the top of the level, and you look at, let's say, I mean, I don't know many CrossFitters, but let's say the Matt Frasers and the Phil Heaths and and the Usain Bolts of running and stuff like
Correct.
that, right?
Yep.
Okay. Let's throw a female athlete in there, because I've just gone all males. What's CrossFit?
Top end.
Tia, is the name Tia?
Tia.
Yeah. Okay.
All those
Cool.
girls,
Yeah. Sweet. They're all trying to get that edge. Yeah. I mean, let's be honest. If anyone can get the edge, they're gonna do it. I don't care what you say. So, if we're looking at, let's just start with say bodybuilding. Most of these guys, like your Phil Heath and the pros, they're using anabolic steroids, right? That they will admit it. Not a lot of them will admit it over Facebook or the internet, but most of them will. If you were to say to them, I've met a fair few, and they use steroids. It's not hidden in bodybuilding more than anything else. Arnie admits it, right? And you know what? It's not humanly possible to get as big as Phil Heath and lean without using anabolic steroids, right? But the thing with that, they're open and they're allowed to do that. They don't get tested at that top level. So with your bodybuilding, at that level, steroids are a big thing, right? And the sad thing about that is people younger or coming through starting bodybuilding are like, I want to be Phil Heath. I want to be,
Arnie.
I want to do that, right? And you know, and people endorse these products and stuff like that, and it's scary to me to think, you know, if someone was to come and go, I want to be like Phil Heath, I'm like, well, look, you know, like, how long you been training for? 2 weeks, 3 weeks. So let's start with the diet. Let's go to that, right? And you know what? If you really want to find what they're doing, you're going to have to do your research and dig deep into it, because that's basically, you know, what the level they have to do, and they're putting a lot of stress on their body, man. But you know, the smarter ones will have their doctors do their blood work and stuff like that, which is obviously a safer way to doing it. But so in bodybuilding alone, in the IFBB Pro League, they'll all use it. They, like, most of them will admit it. So
are they
they're not
is it
tested.
shunned upon between the community, or is it just open?
It's open. Yeah. So there's natural federations, right?
Quotation.
Yeah. So look, and don't get me wrong, there's some very, very good natural bodybuilders in Australia and the world, 100%. There's some really, and I'm mates with a lot of them, and I 100% believe they're natural. But these days in sport, in especially bodybuilding, I mean, it's hard to say what is natural, right? It's hard to say, is this natural? Is a SARM natural? I mean, do we know that? What is natural in supplements at that level? It's hard to actually explain. So anybody that competes in the natural federation that's using, to me, is a cheat. So I'll straight up and say that. So you know, if they're going to use, then get to the other side and compete as a you know, in the league where you're allowed to compete.
What about if I was to ask a black and white question?
Yep.
Could I look like Arnold Schwarzenegger without illegals?
No. Yeah.
Not necessarily natural or not natural, but legal or not legal? It's not possible, right?
It's not possible. It's not. And you know, and your doctors will support the same
What about
thing.
Lockie? He's quite big. He's 100. How are you? 101. Pretty lean.
105.
Still no. I'll be honest. No.
Yeah.
It's not. I mean, their recovery time to train for 2-3 hours at a time, and to put that much muscle in such a short period of time is hard. Very, very hard to do naturally.
Does it have benefits aside from? So for these guys, like you just said, recovery, obviously that's a benefit. I mean, there's negatives involved, like liver of the toxicity and things like
for
that.
sure.
But there's also some benefit, right? Like their joints are then obviously under more load, but they have a chance to recover better. You know?
Yeah, well, I mean, that's the short benefits of it is recovery. Like, a guy can go in and train for 3 hours of bodybuilding, and within 2 hours later, they're recovered to train again by that afternoon. You know what I mean? Like, the majority of us are sore for days. So they're fine to go ahead with that. Obviously, using other stuff in that will help them get leaner and whatnot. So, it's short benefits for sure. And it's sad. I mean, it's got to a sort of a point where how much can your body take and tolerate to where you're going to go with the sport, which is a little bit scary.
That is the question, right?
Yeah.
I mean, that's the ultimate.
That's it. If your body, are you willing to push your body that hard to that level? And if you are, okay, that's in your hands. But if health is priority, then maybe take a step back and see what, you know, is more important to you.
And just quickly on that too, I think, as like you said before, the recovery thing, like people that don't necessarily know out there, if you're listening, probably the largest benefit about any performance enhancing drug is the fact that your recovery time is far less, you know. So if you link it into cycling for the Tour de France, I'm an avid cycling fan, I love it. But and you know, all those guys that are on the illegal stuff, they say that they can just keep riding day in day out at a high level, and you know, it's those performance enhancing drugs that allow them to recover. So in bodybuilding, it's great because, or say CrossFit for example, because you can have highly repetition bouts of high level exercise over and over again.
Yeah, I mean,
and that's how you get the benefit.
Yeah, for sure. But obviously, in saying, like, this is maybe a different subject, but if I was to use what Phil Heath does at every possible way, does that mean I'm going to be as big as Phil Heath or better? No, probably not. Yeah. You know, he's a freak. He's been doing it for a long time. That's the cyclist. You know, there was that documentary where he used as much as he was prescribed that another person was using, and he got worse. Yeah. So it's like, you know what I mean? Just because you're using it doesn't mean you're going to be as good as that. But if you want to be that, that's what you have to do. So you know. Yeah. Cool. And I guess if I can go into CrossFit, it's cool.
I'll just ask you one question about bodybuilding, because like a lot of our listeners are interested, and I'm interested because it's not a sport we spend a lot of time in. Yeah. I feel like there's definitely a difference in the way that the top end guys look now compared to when Arnie was
Yeah, yeah.
And I was just wondering if you had a thought on that.
Yeah, okay. So you'll probably notice back in the 70s and 80s, they weren't obviously, okay, so what we call more as aesthetic look, right? Where these guys were using such lower, amounts, right? And they weren't, for me to look at Arnie, I love his physique. Like, it's perfect, tight little waist, big legs, still got his hair, skin's nice and clear, but these days, I mean, so many new, products and ingredients of other things have come through, and it's abuse. That's why they're insane. They're a lot bigger, but their physique has totally changed. A lot of them are using, stuff like insulin, which creates that big bloated belly, which gives bodybuilding a bit of a bad name these days. So they are totally different physiques. It's good now they've brought back in a category which is called classic, which is perfect. Same thing, tight little waist, good abs, lats are great, they look healthy, and I think that's important for bodybuilding in a sport, that you don't have to go the other side.
Like, not necessarily always bigger is better kind of
That's
thing.
of course, but it for a while that's what it was.
Yeah.
Because people pay to see freaks in bodybuilding, so people want to come in the door and see
Kai Green.
Yeah, they want to see someone walk out of the curtain and just go, wow, and that's what's going to pay these promoters are going to make their money. So, of course, this is what I believe, that these guys are placing higher because the people are coming to see them, right? And it sucks for someone that's come in and you personally think he looks better, but he's coming like 8th, 9th, you know what I mean? Yeah. So they're looking for. Everyone's always willing to see a freak. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's hectic, eh?
Yeah.
Just change them up. That was a personal question. I'm like, fuck, these guys look so different.
Oh, it's hectic.
Like when I love Arnie, he looked fucking magic.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, I know
right?
that's like saying Lance Armstrong, but it's a different look altogether. He looks so clean and silky, like.
Yeah. Yeah.
His chest is all flat and still jacked, but not.
Yeah, they're different looking physiques, 100%.
And it's a different, so you have to expect change, but I mean, you kind of wish, like you said, with that
you go to a natural bodybuilding show, right? The guy who wins the show will look great, perfect, looks awesome. The next day, if you go on an IFBB show, the guy that wins that, you'd be like, holy shit.
Yeah.
Like, they're totally different.
Yeah, different athletes.
Different athletes, different. And not that one or the other is better, but that's you know the difference between a tested federation and a non-tested federation.
And are you saying that, sorry, just to relap back into some of the illicits of that, do you think that the drugs have changed, or people are just taking way more?
Well, both. I think people are taking a lot more than they need to. I think a lot of rumours get around, like, I know there's a lot of forums and stuff like, such and such is using this, and this. And it's probably bullshit. They're probably not using that, right? And I guarantee you someone like Phil Heath is not using as much as everybody thinks, right? He's just a freak, and that's just the way it is, genetically gifted. So what if an 18-year-old kid will go, well, I'm going to try and get my hands on all of that, right? And they do, and then 5 years down the track, they've got like liver failure and stuff like that. So it's pretty scary, man. It is scary, definitely. Yeah. Even unless you're getting your bloods done regularly, it's.
And bringing that back, tying that into what you just said. You spoke about Icarus, which is the documentary on Netflix. It's a podcast on Joe Rogan's. That's exactly what you said, right? Like the guy took exactly what Lance took.
Yeah.
He used the same doctor.
Yeah.
They doped the exact same way, and the field still pulled away.
Yeah.
He actually didn't perform. His measurements on the bike when he was doing his outputs in a static environment were better.
Yeah.
He increased his own
output,
right?
Yeah, for sure.
But at the end of the day, he's not Lance Armstrong.
Yeah.
Lance Armstrong didn't just win the Tour de France
Yeah.
because he was doping. That's what you're saying, right?
So
Phil Heath's
absolutely.
not just
He
winning.
has like this
That's right.
edge.
Absolutely. Because like any of those top level bodybuilders got the money to use what Phil Heath does, and they can probably train like he does and eat what he does. But doesn't mean they're going to be Phil Heath.
If you how long have you been in bodybuilding now? 10 years? 20 years?
At least. What am I now? 33, since I was 16, 17.
25 years,
Yeah.
When you turn on the CrossFit Games and you watch the fittest on earth, is your first initial thought that they're all clean?
No.
Do they look clean? Physically, they're pretty immaculate.
Don't get me wrong, they look amazing. To me, that physique is awesome. They're obviously a lot smaller than a pro bodybuilder, right? The only reason, like the first initial look, I'm like, man, these girls have got like perfect abs. You know what I mean? Traps, arms bigger than some of these girls competing on stage. So, I mean, your initial thought, like, bullshit. Like, this is
Males too, and the males.
yeah, the
as
males
well.
as well, for sure. Yeah, of course. But obviously, the males are going to have higher testosterone levels. So it's when you look at a female, you're like, holy shit! Like, it blows me away for sure.
See, it's interesting, isn't it? Because I just automatically, being a male and being in CrossFit so long, just think of the male. But then you're right, from an outsider looking in, imagine what it must look like to see these girls.
Yeah, like I sat there with my partner, and the first time I showed her, she's like, holy shit! Look at these girls. Like,
Get them on stage.
yeah, like they a lot of them could literally leave that CrossFit event, go and compete on stage at like 2 hours later. 100%. They look amazing, and it's and then the thing about them, but they're so high in energy still. When you go to a bodybuilding show, if a female looks like that, they're dead. It's like walking to a cemetery. Like everyone's depressed, sitting like that.
When can I have my muffin?
Yeah, do you know what I mean? Like some shows are really sad, but you look at them, they just finished like the most craziest event, and then they straight away go up and ask them, "How does it feel?" "I had a lot of fun." I'm thinking, what? How was that fun? And how are you able to talk and smile and walk out the door? Do you know
So
what I
for
mean?
you, as a just someone who's been in the game for a long time, and for myself too, that is another red flag. For me, I'm thinking like these guys have just crushed themselves.
Yeah.
They look phenomenal, and they've still got this amazing, this high energy level where they're like, oh cool, yeah, I can just do that 10 more times.
Yeah.
Like, is that like, do you think, like for me, I don't know, is that going beyond, human possibility sometimes? Or?
I 100% feel that there's definitely a lot of athletes compete in the games that are natural, for sure. Definitely.
Absolutely.
I think, I'm not going to name anyone, but I think there are a lot of them 100% using, for sure, definitely. I mean,
Well, we just got positive, right? Like,
Yeah.
We've had positive every year, maybe not at the top that we have now.
yeah.
Like,
I
it's
mean,
called some 27.
to me, I think and I don't know Ricky at all, and I don't know much about whatever, but I think that was complete bullshit that they used him as an example. Man, when I saw that, I said that's bullshit. Like, you know what I mean? Like, how do we know they tested first and third and fourth and fifth and sixth? How do we ever know that? We're just told, oh yeah, we test. Well, you tested one dude that made to me a really big jump from where he started to then really quick. Like, then that, okay.
They almost made like a case and example.
Yeah, let's just use this guy as an example. I mean, what if they were to test Matt Fraser, right, 3 years ago, or maybe if they test him now and he come up positive, what are they going to say for the last 3 years? Oh shit, how do we know he wasn't using for the last 3 or 4 years?
Oh, yeah.
And they'd maybe be afraid to say, well, okay, you got tested positive, and if we say yes, you can't positive, everyone's going to go, well, what about the last 3 or 4 years?
Does he have to give the 1.5 mil back like Ricky did? Is that what you're saying? Like, he's going to have to give all that money back, all that sponsorship?
not even the money. I think, besides the money, I think, well, what does everybody, like, CrossFitters look at? They thought, this is someone that we idolise, and he's using, anabolics or whatever. I think they can't do that. And is he not the face of CrossFit these days?
Yeah. And before him, Frone
Which is the same.
Yeah,
same
and he was
thing.
exactly the same guy.
Yeah.
And it's almost like
It is strange, hey, how that's passed on, that torch.
Yeah.
Isn't it really strange when you think about it?
Big time.
We had Ben Smith in the middle.
Yeah.
Like,
He was really
super
just like,
dad, super dad.
just unsung hero.
It is strange when
Little
you
no
think about how
frills.
that's passed on. I mean, that hasn't happened in the girls, right? Like,
No.
Catching one twice, but that is strange. If you think about that, we had a reigning champ for essentially 4 years. Like,
And you have a guy who is like such a phenomenal athlete, wins 5 in a row, right? 5 in a row? Was it 4? 5.
I don't know. I think it was 4.
And then steps down at a weird time when he's not really got any other commitments and continues on with teams. It's like
He's still competing.
he still could beat everyone.
Yeah.
But it's like, is that
What's
was he
happening
busted and they wanted him just to step back, or was it a personal decision, or? Yeah.
I think the only way to do it is bringing like someone like Asada to test a lot of them.
Yeah.
That's the call, isn't it? That
I
people
mean, why have
want
they got their own testing? Like, it's bullshit. Like, isn't it? They're
Well, they have to be the only sport on ESPN, and this is nothing against them because they've come from nowhere. Like, this is a guy built this in his gym.
Yeah.
But we're just having the discussion that
Yeah.
people want to know.
Yeah.
And I think what we were all saying is the same thing. Why is this testing private? How do we know?
Yeah.
It's not on ASADA. See, I'm part of ASADA. My, my drug profile's online, being with the New South Wales Weightlifting Federation.
Yeah.
it's that simple, right? You're still paying a body anyway. Like they're paying a private body, which would have to be more expensive to do.
Yeah, maybe for sure. Yeah.
Are they using the same stuff? Do you think as bodybuilders? I mean, surely Lance Armstrong, he looked like a dweeb. You know, he looked like he hadn't touched the steroid in his whole life.
Yeah.
Let's pause there.
Yeah.
Like Lance was tested. Are you tested?
Yeah. It was. Yeah, multiple times. But
What's the process like?
I don't know. Like just coming 5 a.m. You have to give them a window every day on the calendar. So you have to give them a window of an hour every day. So if you're in a travel day, you have to give them an hour like before or after at the airport, wherever. Every day it has to be an hour where they can come and get you. Otherwise, they'll come at any time. So, but I don't know. If you knew someone on the inside and they just gave you the heads up, like which wouldn't be hard, but you could still cycle a little, you know, a little bit in there somewhere. Or
Did they come to your house? Did they come to your door? Or
we,
what happens?
yeah. So wherever we were, so we, like there was times where we'd travel from, you know, say Calgary to Whistler, or Whistler over in, you know, in France or New York, and they'll just come over and they know that you're travelling and moving. They'll just come and just go through the whole lot.
Do they watch your weight? What do they do? Like, what's the?
Yeah, shirt goes above your nipple line, pants and underwear go below the knees, have to, and you just pee into the cup. They watch you, and then take blood. So.
And then how long do you find out? Like, or do you just not know?
No,
they just disappear.
Yeah, gone. And they'll let you know if you.
See, there's the other argument as well. People are like, I've done the testing.
Yeah.
Like, Lance has been tested more than any other athlete on the face of the planet. So even if we did bring in a side of the CrossFit, and that's what another thing CrossFit has said, they're like...
Mate, every time I was doing it too, they give you all the little vials and all that sort of stuff, you know, you can't be tampered with, but people have tampered with them before.
Oh!
And the whole time I'm just thinking, I
ignorance.
could be fucking stitched up here. You know? I'm giving, like, in Korea, I remember in Korea last year, the same thing, it was, I got tested there and I'm... You know, getting a little thing. Like, these people could barely speak English. Like they like pointing like to fill out the form and all this sort of shit. I'm going, this is fucking
Dodgy,
you know,
isn't it?
so dodgy. And it was never seen again. Like wherever my test went or.
See, that's the other argument. You know, you bring in a SADA. Look, he's over there in Korea. No one's translating for him. He's getting tested. They could just say you're dirty,
fucked.
right?
Yeah, oh, big time.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, I was nervous every time I got tested. Clean, and every time I got tested, mate, fucking
I
nervous.
remember you actually.
Every time. I was
To the guys listening, I actually remember when this happened, when he got tested, and you were
freaking out.
The Korea
You
one.
just don't trust it because it's so weird. People come, these guys that can't speak English, knock on your door. Cool, yeah. They're like looking this and like, what, you know, it's fucking 5 a.m. in the morning, or whenever we always put our hour early, but because you have to piss right when you wake up. And if you can't piss, you sit there drinking water and just wait and watch it. You can't leave and just wait.
I've sat there with heaps of my clients for 4 or 5 hours because they can't
Yeah, because
piss.
they're dry as. You're trying to get them on
That's
stage.
right. A bodybuilder that hasn't had water for 2 days will a lowered amount. Yeah, you can sit there with them for a long time.
So back to that question. Sorry about
Yep.
Lance. Like, is Lance and Phil taking same thing, different doses? Is the guys at the games like Ricky got done for SARMs, right? Which you know is an over the counter. You can buy it at fucking supplement stores. It's not illegal. It's an illegal supplement, but it's illegal in sporting events. You know, which is fine. That's fine. But I mean, is that what he's taking to come third at the CrossFit Games? That's it. That's he's eating sweet potato nuts and seeds, and then he's taking a couple of SARMs, and he's beating Ben Smith by his second year. Like you said, there's genetic people. I feel he's not just doping, and now he's a freak. He's a freak.
Yeah.
Matt Fraser's a freak. These guys are the best in the world at what they do. But just because we obviously the world is a bit different in terms of athletic performance to aesthetics. They're not. Do they have the capability to test for the same things? Are they taking the same things?
Like from in all 3 sports?
Well, just even CrossFit and bodybuilding, you
Yeah.
know, because they obviously look like bodybuilders.
Yeah, of course not. So there's obviously different products and ingredients that bodybuilders will have that I think would be no purpose in CrossFit at all. So I personally, I think CrossFitters would be using something for recovery. The best they possibly could use for recovery and strength. So a bodybuilder, right, will be using something that can basically get them as big and as full and as dry and as lean as possible, right? And for CrossFit, there's no point for that.
That's true.
So they're using different compounds, right? And I guarantee what a bodybuilder's using would be twice as much, if not 3 times the amount that a CrossFitter would use, for sure. 2 different purposes. As for cycling, I mean, what was their EPO? I'm going to say that would be their biggest
A
thing.
little bit of test, a little bit of GH, but it's like blood doping was there.
Yeah, GH for recovery for those boys.
Yeah.
They love it.
Every sport has their purpose, and they'll use different stuffs to suit them, for sure. as a CrossFit, can't say what they definitely. I mean, the SARMs, what Ricky got done for is.
Is that low dose? Like, is that low? Like, is that
what he was using?
Stuff? Yeah.
What he used was one that so testosterone helps with strength, massive for strength, and the other one I'm trying to think what it was called, but what that basically did was help with vision, focus, and speed. That's basically how it is, and it helps with concentration, right? So, and I've had a lot of my mates use these SARMs, and they work. They 100% work. Like,
Well, they're legal, right? You
yeah.
buy them over the counter.
Yeah,
so.
you can buy it. They're not banned. They're banned in the next 2 months, right? To buy in a shop. No one's allowed to have it in a shop.
Okay.
But they work. The only scary thing about these, and I'll say it, I've never used SARMs. So a customer will come in and Dax, you know much about SARMs? I said, look, I've never used them because I can't give an honest opinion. But these people are getting great results.
Is there much testing on them behind the scenes? Like, is there long-term effects? Do people know that?
They don't know. That's what's scary about it.
Yeah.
They don't know. There's nobody knows what's going to happen who's using SARMs in 3 or 4 years' time. So that's it. That's the worrying thing. Yeah.
And so, what about the regulation in terms of regulatory? How they're coming off the market? Who tells you that they have to come off the market?
The TGA. Yeah, which is basically the supplement police. Yeah. So if everyone has them, any store has them on the shelves, come the 1st of June, you get how many? I think it's $10,000 a bottle you get done for.
Why doesn't it go through TGA first before they start releasing?
Well, they have.
It does.
But the thing with SARMs, which makes it even scarier, you look at the back of the label and it says for research purpose only, and that's how it gets into the country. So people say it's for research, so it's not for human consumption. So then that's how it gets in. That's all they have to put on their label. Mm-hmm. I've known a lot of people who've used them, got great results, no side effects.
If I took SARMs tomorrow, could I win the CrossFit Games?
I think you could win the CrossFit Games, Paul, anyway.
Correct answer! Sponsored by NextGen Nutrition.
I think your performance will be better, yeah, 100%.
Okay.
Definitely, for sure.
But we're saying there is a genetic potential first, then drug second.
For sure, definitely. Yeah, for sure. But like I said, like back it was probably 2 hours ago now, which with the guy, where that guy said that these guys aren't mentally
sound. Yeah,
like these CrossFitters are their game, and that's true. Like that's the way you have to be. I mean, look at someone like Mike Tyson. I mean, he was absolute Fruit Loop, best boxer ever. Yeah. He had no fear. That's what made him the best boxer. Do you know what I mean?
Do you think, from experience, and now that you've been doing CrossFit and you've spent some time with us and you work closely with Sofas, is it possible for a human being to win at the top of cycling, CrossFit, any competitive physical sport, 100-meter race, without the use of illicit?
Okay, so let's go by sport. Bodybuilding, I don't think so.
Yep.
CrossFit, yeah, I think so. Yeah, I think so. Definitely. Like I said, I think the Australian girl who won it, man, she's in the Olympics, yeah.
Yeah. And the comms.
Yeah, there you go. So I 100% think she's clean as, for sure. Though I don't know who got second or third. I don't know, but I definitely, and even what's his name, Dave Castro, is that his name? He even said it in their thing. Do you think there's people using steroids? Yes.
They're cycling.
They're cycling it off, and he admits it. Like isn't he just a CrossFit dude?
Yeah,
like,
he's games.
Yeah, for sure, definitely.
But you think it's possible for CrossFit to win the games?
If you're not using, yeah, I think it is. Yeah, for sure, definitely. No, bodybuilding, I personally don't think so. No,
I bet you lot.
Yeah, I think you'd have to be a standout athlete.
Yeah,
for sure. Yeah, I think there's probably a lot of athletes that are great athletes, and then obviously like you're always looking for that competitive edge. Same in my experience as a sport, like because power sports are just like it's all the way through.
It's
like
100% output.
Totally,
Right?
and so like anything that's going to help get you that 1% more, it's going to be a little bit faster, a little bit stronger. People.
But don't they say like 10 years ago in CrossFit, like what was their opening
snatch or clean and jerk?
What was that like 10 years?
60 kilos.
And what's it now?
150.
Well, that's what I mean. Like, how did people get so much stronger in 10? Like, yeah, better training styles and whatnot, but they probably were training pretty hard back then, man. Yeah. Like, if not, so how have they all of a sudden just got so much stronger and quicker and faster? Yeah, it's like, I'm not saying they're not training hard, and I'm not saying everybody's using it, but I definitely think that a lot of people use it in CrossFit.
The thing that's, probably as a weightlifter, you see some of those max lifts that some of these guys and girls can do are phenomenal. But it's, for me, as a power, like coming from a power sport too, just recently, it's crazy to think that I devoted myself to specific speed and power training for 4 years and still, wouldn't be able to snatch as much as a top level CrossFitter. Yeah. And that was like 4 years of dedicated power speed training. Obviously a little bit different in my purpose to their purpose, but I was so refined and specialised that there's no way I could have swam 5k or ran for 10k or done 50 or let alone 20 kipping pull-ups and pistol squats. But it's pretty phenomenal. You look at it like in contrast like that, leaves you asking questions.
Yeah, I mean, like natural bodybuilding shows, there's people that cycle in off gear, 100%.
Yeah.
Definitely, 100. And you know what? A lot of people know this. They just fly under the radar. They don't get tested or.
Sorry guys, we've got an incoming Soho DJ event coming up.
That's a ringtone.
Yeah, I mean, going back to what you said, like, about being in the lifting world, I mean, I'd consider myself for a 70-something kilo lifter in the sort of B grade division. I lifted in the A division last year, but, I think that our pool's quite small over here, so I'm not going to be naive and think that I'm in an A division Olympic lifter. But I think even at my level in that B end, I probably have significant numbers. Like, I think that in the general population, you'd consider it strong numbers. But those numbers, for instance, if I back squat 220 kilos for a 1 rep max, that number has only increased, if it has, which it hasn't in 2 years, due to many things, breaking my back and things. But my genetic potential, and that's the other thing, some people are genetically wired to do this stuff. But I've probably back squatted 10 years now of decent weight, and my max is 220, and it's never really peaked past there. And I've devoted the last at least 3 years to the snatch and the clean and jerk. And those numbers are increasing at 0.02% per year.
Yeah.
We're not getting 30 kilo gains in a window of 2 weeks. I mean, people at the games are PRing their snatch at the CrossFit Games on day 2.
Yep.
In the lifting world, you win a gold medal. You'd be, and I mean, I'm not saying it's clean. The lifting world, I think we all know now, because the IWF has just smashed Russia, and Bulgaria and all those places getting tested positive left, right and centre. I'm not saying that. All I'm saying is the guys who are clean, the guys who are tested, are making these small increments, and we're watching that. And then to watch these people who have maybe a training age already of 7 to 12 years are getting these 2% increases, because there is room as an S&C coach. People with a training age, under 5 years are going to have significant gains. So you give me a 20-year-old girl who's got genetic potential, she's going to make significant gains over that first 3 years. But then the gains from that period onwards are quite small. So it's a great example. Comes in, huge running background, monster engine, genetic potential to lift quite well, did a heap of yoga, great mobility, good strength, big legs, huge growth, 3 years, massive growth, really, really good. Gets to this stage this year, her training age comes to 4 years, bang, everything drops. Those increments are percentile. They're literally 1 to 2 to 3%. Snatch PR last year, first time in 8 months, of half a kilo. Does she have potential to do more? Yeah, of course, because she's so young. She's 21 years old. Hasn't done a Wendler cycle. Hasn't done a smaller cycle. Hasn't done all these cycles that have been around for 10 years of squatting and deadlifting. And so, of course, there's heaps of potential for growth. But even saying that, watching these top end, working one-on-one, working with Lockie one-on-one for 4 years to go to the Olympic Games and PRing your clean twice in that time. Twice in 2 years. Yeah. Even though that's all you were doing, eating, sleeping, breathing, to do those lifts. And then you've got these guys who come out and PR 30 kilos at games. 30 kilos after doing 600 rope climbs and flipping a 200 kilo pin. It's actually mind-boggling to watch.
Yeah, it'll only get better too. The next 5 years, watch people are smashing that as well.
Yeah,
100%. People are going to get quicker.
That's scary.
People are going to get quicker in a 100-meter sprint. Like it's just You know what? Like I said.
Have at it. Let them go. Let's see what they're capable of.
You know what? I think it's involved in all sports.
Yeah,
how are these first grade footy players getting like a knee reconstruction coming back 6 weeks later?
4 weeks.
Like, don't get me wrong. I don't care. It's mad because I get to watch it, and I want my favourite player back in 6 weeks if that's what he has to do.
Totally.
But you can't turn around and say these guys aren't doing that. They have to do what they have to do to get back, to entertain the people that are watching, and to obviously win for their team. It's just the way it is. Benji Marshall was about 45 minutes shoulder reconstruction. He's still playing.
Jeez.
Yeah,
it's amazing.
He's still playing. Like, how? His shoulder's hanging there by a thread.
Yeah.
Like, it's crazy. But like I said, he needs to be on there to entertain us. So NRL will make it money. It all comes back to money. Yeah, 100%.
Who's making all the money off the illicits? Where's that money going? It's obviously not going to the economy. Who's making that?
Well, whoever's making it, I don't know.
Yeah.
Isn't there a lot of, like, you know what I mean? Like, we've said every sport has some sort of illicit in it. Someone's making a shit ton of cash. Why not just sort it out, put proper testing involved, and let's sort it out. Let's make it like the government's making money on alcohol.
Yeah.
Tax it.
Tax it. And then have a dirty sport, a dirty CrossFit, and a clean CrossFit, if that's what you want to do.
Yeah.
Make it level, for sure.
If you want to put a testing body in, do it, if that's what you're going to do. But you've got to be able to have these conversations. You've got to be able to discuss this if you're going to say it's a clean sport.
Mm-hmm. I agree, man. And in some countries, you can buy it over the counter, right? So it's very easy for athletes to go into a pharmacy. You can do it in Thailand. You go to any pharmacy, walk in and go, blah, 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 blah. Yep, there you go. I'll grab that. 20 minutes later, you've had it, you go training, and that's it. I mean, obviously in Australia, it's nothing like that at all. Over in England, it's not illegal to do that. So
Russia, Poland.
Russia, there you go.
It's interesting. So we had a lifting guy. I was doing a seminar with a guy who was a lifting coach, and he did some mentoring in Russia. So he spent some time under some Russian lifters, and he's like, straight up, he's American, and he's like, what's the go? These guys back squatting in the morning, front squatting at night, deadlifting, and then clean pulling. This is all in one session, right? These guys are moving 7 to 8 ton in a session. Yeah. And he's like, are these guys taking drugs? And the guy's like, of course.
Yeah.
Which is normal.
What are you talking about? These guys have been taking drugs since they're 15. They got done for a national doping scheme. They didn't get done for testing positive. They got done because when you were 15 and you got out of school and you were in school and you got given, you do a test, you do gymnastics, weightlifting and sprinting. Whichever one you're good at, you get put in a pool, you get given your food, your sleep, nutrition and your drug program. It's a national doping scheme. That's how it's produced. It's not, I'm not speaking a taboo subject. It's known. This is why they couldn't fly their own flag at the Olympics when you were there this year.
I have friends in the Russian team that, for them, it's not taboo to talk. It's not like you don't talk about that. It's like, it's naughty to talk about. It's like, it's just normal for them.
The coaches are like, they said
it's a part of the culture of training. Yeah. They still train really hard. Totally, yeah, big time.
We're not taking away because, like Dax said, he watches some of the top guys and thinks, yep, definitely taking it, and then he says Tia's not taking it. So the work output's the same. People are working their ass off to do whatever they're doing.
Of course, 100%. And you know what? Maybe the top 3 aren't taking anything. I don't know. I've got no idea.
Yeah.
I'm not. But what about the guy that come 50th? You may be using it just because he didn't place and nobody sees him on Instagram or Facebook. They're not going to bother testing him.
That's what happened. That's what Matt Fraser said.
They don't care.
They interviewed him and they said, "What do you think?" He said, "I think people are taking drugs, but I don't think it's the people you think it is. I think it's the people sitting on the cusp who just like they're pissed off they can't make it. I just want to step my foot in. I want to put my toe in." I want to make it on the arena. Put me on the floor.
Yeah, but then again, like, let's just say Matt Fraser's not taking it and the guy that's coming 50th, it just shows, just because he's using it, it doesn't mean he's going to be better than Matt Fraser. Obviously, it shows. Like, yeah, of course.
All right, I think that'll do. We've done 7 hours. Dax is wasting away. He's lost 10 kilos since he's been sitting here. Thanks for coming on board, mate.
Yeah,
Appreciate
thanks,
it.
mate.
Thanks, guys. I enjoyed it. I had an absolute ball.
If anyone's got any questions, let us know, and we can have Dax back on in a year when he's recovered from this. Thanks a lot.
No worries, mate.
Thanks, guys.
Looking forward to the next one.
Yeah.
In closing, something fun. What's your favourite feast?
What's my favourite feast?
If you're going to just crush it, not a cheesy, whatever, just what's, if you've got something you're looking forward to on a weekend or a Monday, Wednesday night, what's your Daxy's big feast? Loves it.
Just burgers.
Yeah.
I'll belt burgers all day long. 100%.
Awesome.
I'm more of a savoury guy. So.
Yeah. Cool. Thanks, mate. Cheers, legend.
Thanks,
Right,
Dax.
that was
Good,
good.
mate.
Thank you.
Yeah.
That was perfect. Awesome.
Good job, buddy.
Good.
Good one.
Hectic.
Awesome.